Hi, welcome to the University of Colorado at Boulder. As you know, we are working with CAE to provide technical assistance in the test adaptation and translation for the CAE tasks. Along with this video, you should be receiving copies of these materials. This is a mini task that CAE developed and which we are using with the purpose of training countries to perform cognitive interviews. In a few seconds, you will see Magda Chia, my colleague from the university, conducting a cognitive interview with a student. And we want to model how the questions have to be asked and how to prompt students to think aloud. So please let us know if you have any questions. You can contact us by email. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
The cognitive labs. Before I actually get started, I wanted to remind you about a couple of things. As you can see, we're in a fairly comfortable room. The temperature is comfortable. The light is really good. I can see everything that's on the table. In addition, I have an audio recorder. I've double-checked that the batteries work and that I can hear everything that's recorded on it. As Willie mentioned before, you will also have a performance task. Along with the performance task, make sure that the student has some scrap paper in case they need it to get their ideas together. For you, the person actually conducting the interview, you will have a script that you can follow along with as you're doing the interview. You will also have a couple of tables that are provided in the document. Those tables will help you collect notes during and after the initial think alouds. Of course, make sure that the student has writing utensil and that you have a writing utensil to make to jot down any notes. And I think with that, in our comfortable chairs, we're ready to start. Tasks that you'll be. Hi Rachel, thanks for agreeing to participate in this process. My name is Magda Chia and I actually work with CAE on the AHELO feasibility study. Okay. Obviously this will have no impact on your grades or your school ranking or anything at all. Okay. So I just want to make sure that you know that. The purpose of what we're going to do today is for us to capture all the thinking that's going on while you're processing the task. Okay. So it's really important that every time you're thinking throughout the process, you share that with me. Okay. That you verbalize it. So we'll go ahead and do that. You'll read it. After you've completed the task, I'll ask you a couple of questions that are just general questions that everybody will be asked. And then if I have some information that's specific to something that maybe I noticed that I need clarification on, I'll ask you specific questions about things that you mentioned. Okay. Okay? Just so you know, this will be audio recorded because I want to be able to capture all of the information that you give us. So in case later on I have some questions, I'll have the audio recording to go back to. Okay. Okay? Of course, I'll be taking notes throughout, so don't worry about that. I just need you to sign a confidentiality agreement. Okay. Okay. And so if you can just go ahead and sign that. Okay. This just says that you will not share any information that you saw during today's process. Okay. Okay? All right. Do you have any questions before we begin? No. No? Okay. You're comfortable? Yes. Great. So we'll go ahead and get started. Before we actually get to the task that you'll be dealing with today, I'm going to show you how I would process something. Okay? So let's say I have a math problem that's 2 times 2 plus 10. I would be thinking, well, there's an order of operation. I have to multiply first, so I would have to do the 2 times 2 first. So 2 times 2 is 4. Once I've got that, I need to go ahead and add the 10 to that 4. So it would be 4 plus 10 equals 14. So that's similar to what we would do. Okay. So in order for you to practice, do you have any questions about what I did? Okay. So before we get to your actual task, I'm going to give you an opportunity to practice sharing your thoughts with me. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to ask you a question. And then once I'm done asking the question, you can go ahead and share your thoughts. Okay. Okay. So my question is, how many windows So are you ready for the question?
Sure.
Okay, so my question is, how many doors do you have in your home?
How many doors are in my home? Okay. So like all the cabinets and all those doors and everything?
It's whatever you want to count.
Okay. Well, I don't want to count all this, and they're not really doors, I guess. So, okay. So can I draw?
Yes.
Okay. This is my apartment, and I have the door I come in, and then let's see. I have my bathroom over here. I have a door there, and there's a door on my bedroom, and then let's see. There's a closet in my bedroom which has those sliding doors, but I don't know if are those really doors. Yeah, I mean, I guess those are doors. So that would count as a door. Oh, and then I have a closet over here with a door, and a closet over here with a door. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. I have 6 doors.
Okay. So 6 is your final answer?
Yeah, 6 doors.
Great. Okay. So did you feel that the instructions for this were clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have any questions as you went along?
No, not really.
No. So I did notice that you had some questions about the closet doors.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, because it's not a door that you open with the doorknob, but it's
Mhm.
like, it just slides.
Mhm.
But so, yeah, I mean, I guess that's a door, but I wasn't sure at first.
Okay. So anytime you have questions along the way as you're
Mhm.
going through the mini task, make sure that you voice them just like you did now.
Okay.
Okay, and I may ask you some questions later on about where maybe some of the confusion was or how you came to some conclusions.
Okay.
Okay, so that's why it's really important that you share any questions that you have or any thoughts that you have out
Okay.
loud. Okay.
Okay.
The other thing that I should mention is if you should be silent for a certain period of time, I'll go ahead and remind you to
Mhm.
share your thoughts.
Okay.
So it's something that naturally occurs during this process, but I want you to know that will probably be happening.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, great. So do you have any questions on anything that we've done so far?
No.
Okay, so I think we can go ahead and get started on the actual task.
Okay.
Okay? Again, feel free to use the scrap paper like you
Okay.
did during the practice.
Okay.
And we'll get going.
This is it? Okay.
Yes.
So, okay. So you want me to read this out loud?
It's whatever you feel most comfortable doing, whatever
Okay.
you're used to doing.
Okay. So I don't usually read it out loud. Okay, so do you want me to read this out? This box question?
Again, it's whatever you feel most
Okay.
comfortable doing. Just remember to share your thoughts.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's see. So they're trying to say that cell phones cause accidents. And then document A and B. So details. Okay, table 1.
So just remember to share your thoughts.
Okay. Well, Dr. Greer and chart below. Okay, so this chart is showing how many people use cell phones and accidents. So over here, let's see. So we have the regions, and the percentage of people using, which is this. But then, let's see. Then we have the number of registered drivers involved in an accident and the number of drivers. So, okay, so I see that this is a percent and this is the real number. So the numbers are going up, but so are these numbers. So I guess if I look over here, I have the number of vehicles accidents per 1,000 drivers. So I see that it's pretty much the same, except for the north, and the north actually doesn't have the most percentage of drivers using cell phones. So I guess he's not right when he says reducing cell phone usage while driving motorized vehicles would lower the city's vehicle. So, I mean, I guess I see where he thinks that, because it says the number of accidents that go up with the number of people, or with the percentage of people using cell phones, but the actual number of people is bigger. So you can't compare the number and the percent. So let's see. Down here we have the percentage of, what is this? The percentage of moving violation offenders, and the percent of college graduates. So it looks like, it looks actually like the more, so the percentage of offenders is higher when there's more college graduates. That's kind of interesting. But that has nothing to do with the question, I don't think, because it's asking about cell phones, right? It doesn't ask about education level. So let me, what is, he's trying to make that claim. So I guess his claim, it's this answer sheet. What are the strengths and limitations of the position? What specific information led you to this conclusion? And what additional information would you like to have had? Okay, so I know a limitation is that he's comparing percents to numbers, and that actually the numbers are misleading, and there's not more accidents for drivers who use cell phones. It looks to be about the same, except for that one. So that would be a limitation. I don't really know what a strength would be for his argument. Maybe, I mean, yeah, he doesn't really have, let me look at this chart. I don't think he really has a strength to his argument because it's wrong. And then what additional information do I want to have? Well, I guess it would be nice to know I guess it would be nice to know the numbers over here, even though it looks like it would be nice to have this all be the same, either all percents or all numbers. That way, well, I guess all percents. I would like to know all percents. But even, I guess this over here is sort of a percent. So maybe, what else would I want to know? I don't know, I guess there could be other information about what is causing an accident. Not just cell phones, maybe it's the time of day that people are driving or something like that. So I would like to know more information about that, I guess. But that's it. I think that's my answer. Do you want me to write anything down?
Whatever you feel comfortable doing.
Okay. Well, I think I'm done.
So Rachel, now that you've written out your response, we're at a point where I can start asking you questions. So I'm going to start with the specific questions that I noticed, and then we'll go on to the general questions. Okay? All right. So my first question is that during the instructions, when you were reading the instructions, you said I guess they're asking about cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't know if there was a specific reason why you said that.
Well, at first I thought maybe they just wanted. First, I thought maybe they wanted to find a way to reduce the cell phone usage, and they were trying to figure out how they could do that. But then I realized they were just trying to make the connection between cell phone usage and accidents. So at first, I didn't know if they were more concerned with the people actually using them or just that they cause accidents.
Okay. The next question that I have deals with document A.
Mm-hmm.
So when you were reading document A, you said this is moving violation offenders.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you paused there, and I'm wondering if there's a reason why.
Moving. Yeah, I think at first I wasn't sure what that included. maybe moving violation offenders. I wasn't sure if that was the same thing as accidents. I don't really know that terminology very well, so I didn't know if it meant the number of, up here it had vehicle-related accidents, and so I wasn't sure what moving violation offenders, if that was just people who were speeding or if it's people who got in an accident.
Okay. So my last question came from at the end of the task,
Mm-hmm.
when I said to you, is there any additional information that you would like to have? You went back to document A and said
Mhm.
that you would like that to be all percents.
Right.
Can you explain why?
Well, it's hard to compare percents and numbers. So that was, I think, that was the point of why, that was the main point of why his argument was wrong, was because even though it looks like the more people that use cell phones, the more accidents there are, that's because there's more people living there, so there's going to be more accidents because there's more people in that place, or more drivers, I mean. There's more drivers in that region. So it would have been nice to have everything be the same so you could actually compare across the categories instead of having to try to think about percents and numbers.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So now I'm going to move on to the general questions that I have about
Okay.
the task that you just completed.
Okay.
So my first question is, did the instructions provide adequate information for you to understand what is expected of you to perform the task?
Yeah, I thought this first part was kind of long. I mean, I don't even know if maybe you don't need all that. You could just say, based on these tables, would reducing the cell phone usage lower the number of accidents? I'm not sure if you need, I kind of, that he's the mayor and someone else is writing it, and I don't know.
Okay.
It seemed like a lot.
Okay.
But, I understood it. I kind of had to read a lot to get to the question.
Okay. And once you got to the question, did the question make sense to you?
Yes. Yes. I was a little bit confused at the end when it was asking for strengths and limitations. I guess it says and or. But usually whenever it asks for something, I always try to find at least one thing to say, and I couldn't really find a strength, so I guess maybe that was the only thing.
But that was at the end.
At the very end, yeah.
Okay. How did you decide which items and information to use from the task when answering the question?
Well, I kind of used everything at the beginning to see. I started using everything, but then I didn't really use this graph because I decided that it was comparing numbers and percents, and so I pretty much only used this last column over here. This table 2 I didn't use at all. And I guess how I decided it was I just realized that table 2 didn't answer or didn't address the question, at least I didn't think it did. And most of table 1, you couldn't compare them because they were numbers and percents. So I guess I kind of just did process of elimination for what would help
Okay.
the most, and it was this table over here,
Okay.
or this part of the table.
Okay. So can you tell me a little bit more on your strategy for
Mhm.
working through the task?
Well, like I said, I kind of used process of elimination. First, when I read what his claim was, I looked at the tables, and like I said, I noticed that you couldn't really compare the percents and numbers because of the fact that the numbers were getting bigger. So I knew right away that that wasn't going to help me, or that it was contradicting what he was saying. So what he was saying was based on this, but that's not accurate. So I knew that that was wrong. So I was looking for the real information, or not the real, but the information that would tell me about accidents and cell phones. And so that's when I focused on this over here. So I eliminated these columns in this table. Is that good?
Anything else?
I don't think so. I
Okay,
think
and
just process of elimination.
Great. And then my last question is, did you find the performance task engaging?
Yeah, I was surprised. I mean, I know this isn't supposed to be a real city, but I was surprised because I think that there's a lot of movement now, to get people not to use their cell phones. So the fact that this was sort of saying that cell phones didn't play a role. So I was thinking about that the whole time. And I think it's, some people are saying it's an actual problem now that people are using their cell phones when they drive, and so I thought it was interesting that they chose that task.
Great. Anything else that you want to add?
No, I think that's it.
Wow, well, we're done. Thank you so much for helping us out.
You're welcome.
Okay, great.
Who are not